Welcome to the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum in Washington, PA. My name is Scott Becker and I'm Executive Director of the museum, and I invite you to take a ride into the past at our wonderful museum. You can see trolleys from all over Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, even the streetcar named Desire from New Orleans. We have a 4-mile scenic trolley ride, guided tours, museum store, picnic area. There's lots to see and do at the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. A new addition at the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum is our interactive exhibit room. I'm standing next to card 225, that's ages 2 to 5, where your youngsters can get to feel like they're operating a streetcar. We also have a number of interactive exhibits over here. You can actually color different trolleys if you'd like. You can punch tickets. We have trolley blinko, all sorts of things for young and old.
I'm Art Ellis. I'm one of the original members of the Pittsburgh Electric Railway Club, which became eventually the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. I started with the organization, started in business in the 1940s, and incorporated as a museum arrangement in 1950. My employment at that time was with Pittsburgh Railways Company. I started with them in 1947, which all happened to be their maximum year of patronage in the history of the company. Our organization, at that time we went in became a museum organization, incorporated nonprofit organization. It was the thought of starting a museum and preserving some of the trolleys which are rapidly disappearing. In the meanwhile, the railways were slowly removing equipment from the area, although the track still existed. So in February of 1954, they were ready to start pulling up the tracks, and we were able to run the 3 cars which we'd accumulated that time and were being stored for us by the Pittsburgh Railways Company at the Ingram Car House. And this parade of 3 cars made its way out here on a Saturday afternoon, I believe it was. And the cars then stood for several years along the track here, the windows protected by old advertising billboards. Eventually we built our structures here to protect the cars and were able to remove the unsightly protection. It was some 10 years though before we acquired a power source, so we were able to actually operate the cars. Since that time, some 35 or so other cars have arrived here, mostly by truck, a few by rail, 2 or 3 by rail, which were too large or too heavy for trucks at the time. And we now have about 40 cars on the property, a number of which are in operating condition.
My name is Bill Franchek. I'm the president of the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. I've been a volunteer here since 1955 when I came here when I was 15 years old. At that time, we had 3 streetcars on a siding with not that much else and no buildings, no electricity. What you're standing in is the trolley display building, which is a large building, 28,000 square feet. And it was built in 2005, and it houses 32 trolleys from different eras. Our trolley voltage is about 600 volts. We have a brand new substation here. The substation was dedicated last Saturday, and we have solar energy that's generating power to be used in the lighting of this building and also to help with other facilities around the museum. It's quite a successful operation. And of course, it's solar is very environmentally friendly. We're very pleased to have that. I think we're the only trolley museum in the United States, and maybe the only electric railway system in the United States to have solar energy that does the job of running the streetcars. So Ready Kilowatt is our logo that we've been able to use, and Ready Kilowatt runs the cars via solar energy. The car to my left here is a typical Pittsburgh car that ran on the streets of Pittsburgh starting in 1905. And it was taken out of service in 1932, and it was converted to a work car. And our organization purchased this car around the late 50s for approximately $500. And it operated here until recently, until we have to decide on major repairs to it so that it's actually going to be stored here until we decide when we want to put it on our restoration program. And we have an agenda for these cars. We're working on cars down here, we're working on cars in the other building, the shop. The one car to my right over here is the Monongahela West Penn 274. It ran both in Parkersburg, Marietta, and it also ran in Fairmont, Clarksburg. Interestingly enough, in 1941, it was retired to the farm. So we were able to rescue it from the person who owned it there, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Hubbard, who ran a real estate company in Parkersburg. He gave it to us. So we trucked it up here, and it's been here since about 1976. We have a car that's sort of a skeleton at present, and it is a work car. And what did it do? It actually hauled milk from the country into the city of Philadelphia. And in many cities and in many places, they use this as a way of transporting produce and dairy products from the country into the city. And we have some talented crew members here that do all kinds of work: woodworking, metalworking, electrical, machine work.
We're here in the museum's restoration shop, where we do a lot of work to restore our streetcars back to their former glory. Next to me is Jim Heron, one of our volunteers, and Jim is carefully sanding the safety railings that are going to be installed soon on our beautiful 1911 open car. And these railings will be used to raise and lower to help keep our passengers safe while they're going down the track.
Now, the volunteer base here is about 150 people. We offer that opportunity that you can come here and you can join the museum. You can become an active person in any department we have here. We encourage that. We like to have people come in here and offer to lend a hand. And believe me, we have lots of work to do. I've been here this long, over 50 years, and I think there's 200 years of work left for me to do here. And I hope somebody shows up to help me with the rest of this restoration here.
I volunteer here because I've been interested in trolleys since I was probably 3 years old. I had a favorite aunt who would take me for trolley rides, and that was my favorite entertainment on a Saturday afternoon. Actually, she'd alternate between train rides and trolley rides because there was a short shuttle train in which the fare was free. So I got more train rides than I did trolley rides. But I liked the trolleys and went on from there, and eventually, about the time I got to high school, I discovered there was somebody else in the world that was also interested in trolleys. And it went on from there. And I made a career with the transit company.
So we think that we're in the dawning of a new age as far as electric railways. Electric railways have been around a long time. We are now seeing the effects of the resurgence of them in many, many places. So I think that you're going to see quite a bit of change as far as the cities and the urban landscape when electric railways make their recovery.
Well, I think it's largely nostalgia, and in some cases people simply interested in antique machinery. They like to see what it was like in the past, whether it's antique automobiles or old baseball cards or whatever.
We invite you to come down and visit the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. Many of the things that we have here are operable, and you should be able to take a ride for a 4-mile round trip on the trolley line with one of the many vintage trolleys that we have here. There's so many things here to see, and displays, as well as interactive displays for the children, which is really an ideal place to bring a family, especially grandparents. They love to take their grandchildren and reminisce about what it was like to run trolleys. We really try to recreate the era of the trolley in this environment here, and I think that this is really a wonderful place to visit. We really enjoy showing off our wonderful collection of trolleys here. Again, please visit us. Bill Franchek, I'm the president. You can ask for me, or you can ask for any volunteer down here who'll be willing to show you. But we have our regular tour guides that take people on routine tours through this building and all the other buildings. Thank you very much, and I hope you come down and see us.